All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live training. Today we're doing a bonus training for the Program Design 101, the workshop that we're starting on Monday. So excited about that. So Monday we're running Program Design 101, which is a 5-day totally free workshop here in my Facebook group. Basically, I'm just teaching you guys everything that I know about program design so that you can feel confident creating your own workout plans and that you know that you're getting the most out of your workouts, you're working towards your goals, and you're just doing the most that you possibly can. So that's what's happening next week on Monday. If you're not already in there, I will leave you guys the link below if you're in my Facebook group. Otherwise, it's in my bio on my Instagram. So again, we're starting that on Monday. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm going to be doing live trainings every day at 4 o'clock. So same time as today, if you're in a different time zone. And yeah, so that's what's going on next week. There'll be worksheets, there'll be homework. I'll be in the comments every day. So when you guys post your homework, I'll be in there giving you feedback, helping you build your plan. So by the end of the week, you'll be coming away with your own plan that you're going to feel super good about. And there's also going to be, I didn't mean to be going over this so much in the beginning, but I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Yeah, so there's going to be a prize at the end, which is going to be super exciting. And the prize is just going to be 3 weeks of custom coaching. Oh my God, I can't talk. 3 weeks of custom programming by me. And there's a little bit more to that, but I'll go over that probably at the end here. Just trying to grab you guys. There we go. The link. I'm not very good at multitasking. So. All right, there is the link if you're watching this on Facebook to join the workshop next week. So without further ado, let's get into the training. So today, I didn't even tell you what we're talking about today. Today we're going over warm-ups. Last week we went over how to get the most out of your workouts, and one of those ways was to make sure you're getting in a good warm-up for your workouts. So today I'm going to go over much more in detail how to get a good warm-up in for your workouts. So first, I'm going to go over why you want to be making sure you get in a good warm-up, and then I'll go over kind of the different ways you can warm up, because there's quite a few. Your warm-up can literally be between 5 minutes or like an hour, depending on what you want to get out of it. And then I think I'm actually going to like show you guys some warm-ups, which is going to be probably the first time in one of my live trainings that I'm getting up and physically doing things. So that'll be fun. So some reasons why you want to make sure you're getting in a good warm-up. There are a ton of them. So pretty much the most important one is that when you're warming up properly, you're going to be making sure that you're doing as much as you can to prevent yourself from getting injured. When you go right into a workout, immediately lifting your heaviest weight, immediately just, running right into it without a warm-up, you're at a much higher risk of injury. Your muscles aren't warmed up. You don't have like the blood going to them. You haven't prepared yourself for what you're doing in that day. You're much more likely to injure yourself. So the very first reason why you'd want to incorporate a proper warm-up is to make sure that you're not going to hurt yourself, because nobody wants that. We want to keep working out. We don't want to have to deal with an injury and take time off or anything like that. So a really good way to prevent that is to make sure you're getting in a proper warm-up. Also, if you have any type of mobility restrictions, for instance, you can't squat as low as you'd like, you can't get like full extension overhead, anything like that, you might want to, again, do a proper warm-up, because that's going to help you improve your mobility going into your workout. And I think no matter what your goals are for working out, whether it's building strength, whether it's getting toned, building some muscle mass, losing a bit of body fat, doing some body recomposition, anything that you're doing there, you're going to want to improve your mobility a little bit, because the more range of motion you have in your movements, for instance, squatting as low as you can, you're going to be able to recruit more muscles, you're going to be able to build more muscle mass, and a lot of times that kind of aligns with our goals. So improving your mobility is a really good reason to want to incorporate a really good warm-up. You're also going to be able to focus a bit more on your technique when you're warming up, because when you warm up, you typically use a lot less weight compared to what you would be doing in your workout. So when you're using less weight, you can slow down the movement. You can really focus on your technique. So in your warm-ups, you can use this time to really just drill in the technique into your brain, so it just becomes automatic. Your body knows how to do it. You're drilling in that technique without having to worry about, you know, going super slow or moving things around, like if you've got a couple 100 pounds on your back. So we've got more time to be able to focus on your technique in your warm-ups. And let's say you're doing some sort of bodybuilding where you're trying to like grow a booty, or you're trying to get some pop in shoulders or your lats or anything like that. And maybe you, like me, struggle to feel your glutes or struggle to feel your lats. A lot of times you can add in some activation exercises at the beginning of your workout in your warm-up, and those are going to help you to feel your muscles better and to get those muscles, you know, remembering what they're supposed to be doing going into the workout, so that you're getting a stronger connection to your muscles. Your muscles are going to be working a bit harder, and you're going to be using the muscles that you want to be using, that you want to be growing. So you can add in a bit of activation exercises into your warm-up. Having a good warm-up is going to help you perform better in your workouts, because your body is going to be much more prepared going into it. You're going to often be a little bit stronger going into your workout, again, because your body is prepared for what's coming next. You're going to have more confidence going into your workout, because you've already practiced those movements that you're going to be doing in your workout with lighter weight. And when you're confident with lighter weight, it's going to be a lot easier to feel more confident once you start putting in heavier weight. You're going to know you're using the right muscles, and that you can strengthen any weaker muscles that might not be working when you want them to. If like your quads are often taking over in certain movements when you'd prefer your glutes to be engaged, this is something that you can work into your warm-up so that you're using things in the way that you want to be. All right, so that's kind of my spiel on why you should be getting in a proper warm-up every single time that you work out. Now, I've kind of split this into two different sections. So you can, there's the warm-up that you do like right before your workout, before you even start like what you have programmed. And that can range anywhere from 5 minutes to 60 minutes. And the purpose of this is to, you know, get your blood flowing, get your blood going to your muscles, get your joints warmed up, and get you practicing movements that you're going to be doing in your workout. That is the purpose of the warm-up before you work out. There's also like mini warm-ups that you might be doing throughout your workout. So this would happen like immediately before your exercise. And this would consist of warm-up sets where you're doing much lighter weight than you will be doing in your working sets. You could be doing activation exercises here, and you could also be doing things to help with your mobility here in between sets. So there's going to be your, you know, pre-workout warm-up, then there's also going to be like your intra-workout warm-up. So I'll go over both of those separately because they're going to be a little bit different from each other. I think I'm going to be starting with the intra-workout warm-ups just because it's a bit shorter and I can go through it quicker, and there's a bit less to it. And then I'll go through like what you can do for your like full warm-up. So for each exercise, this is going to be mostly important for your heavier lifts. So any of your compound movements, especially when you're using a barbell So let's say squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, bench press, anything like that. You want to do warm-up sets. And warm-up sets are just going to be lighter than what you're going to be doing for your working sets. So let's say you're doing 5 sets of 5 exercises, 5 sets of 5 reps for squats. And you know that usually you're going to be doing about 150 pounds for 5 reps. You're not going to do your first set immediately at 150 pounds because you haven't primed your body, you haven't, gotten used to this movement. You want to ease your way up to that heavy weight so that you're not going to injure yourself. So a rule of thumb is if you're using the barbell, always do your first set, no matter if you're lifting up to like hundreds and hundreds of pounds, always do your first set with just the bar, no plates on it, okay? And every single time you do your warm-up set with just the bar, you're going to do it exactly as you would with heavy weight on there. You're going to do the exact same form. You're going to go just as low or even probably a little bit lower, but you're not just going to do it haphazardly. You're not just going to do it like quick or whatever. You're going to focus, you're going to brace, you're going to use proper technique, and you're going to drill in that movement. Okay, so you're going to use the empty bar. You're going to go through either the 5 reps or even a little bit more, but just do that movement, do it with the naked bar. And then depending on your exercise, you can do more than one warm-up set. I typically do with my heavy exercises. So let's say we're going up to 150 pounds on the squat. I'd start with just the bar, then I'd maybe do 95 pounds, then I'd maybe do like 125, and then I'd do my sets at 150. So if you're working on strength, if you're working on powerlifting or anything like that, it may take you a little bit longer because of your warm-up sets, but it's going to be extremely important, and you're going to be able to feel so much better in your lifts. You're going to recruit the right muscles. You're going to use proper technique. You're going to be stronger. So make sure you're doing your warm-up sets. Now, when it comes to lighter exercises like bicep curls or shoulder presses, a lot of times what you're going to do in your warm-up, like pre-workout warm-up, is probably going to be enough. It's more so just your really heavy exercises with the barbell that are going to require you to warm up, prior to them. So I'll let you be the person who decides, which ones need warm-up sets and which ones don't. But a good rule of thumb is if you're using the barbell, you probably need a warm-up set with just the bar first. And if it's anything that's pretty heavy, do a warm-up set first. Get a feel for that weight. Make sure, your body's feeling it that day, because some days your body's not really feeling that weight and you might need to go a little bit lighter. So that's your first thing with your intra workout warm-ups is warm-up sets. Very, very, very important to do your warm-up sets. So also some things that you could do is activation exercises. I often do this during my workouts on like glute days. So I struggle to feel my glutes a lot of the time. So if I'm doing like hip thrusts, a lot of times before every single set, I'll throw in an activation exercise with a band. So I'll throw a band around my knees. I'll do maybe some kickbacks or some abductions to the side, or I'll do like frog pumps. Just anything that I really feel my glutes in, I'll do in between my sets, so that going into my hip thrust, going into my squats, I'm feeling the muscles much more than I would be if I wasn't doing the activations. You can also do this if you have like one side that you don't feel. Like I don't feel my left butt very well at all. My right side's fine. So my left, I don't feel it very much. So sometimes I'll just do activation exercises on that one side between every set, just to get it, understanding what we're doing. I'm just telling it, okay, this is what we're doing. I want you to be like participating. So just a reminder that this is what we're doing. So that's another thing you can incorporate between sets is activation exercises. Another thing I like to do, and this is going to be totally dependent on you and your body, and it takes a bit of experimentation to figure out what's really going to work for you, But another one that I like is doing light kettlebell swings right before deadlifts, especially if you're someone who tends to like squat your deadlift, or where your hips come up before your knees, and your knees and hips are not coming up at the same time. Just if you're not getting a good lockout, things like that. I like to incorporate kettlebell swings right before, because it just drills in that movement pattern. So just things like that you can throw in before your heavier sets, just to help either with your technique or to get the right muscles activated. Sometimes I even will do just lightweight if I'm really working on my form. So with snatches or cleans, which are much more difficult than the other things that I know, these have been something I've only been incorporating the last couple of years. So I'll grab like a PVC pipe or a wooden dowel or like a broomstick, and I'll just do snatches and cleans in between sets with a super, super light weight, just so I can really drill in that technique. So again, these are some things that you can do in between sets. Yeah, so I think, oh, and one other thing that you can do is some mobility. So squats are going to be something that I will often be doing mobility for, just so that I always want to squat lower. That's always one of my things I want to work on. And for me, it's my hips and my ankles that I need to work on my mobility for. So sometimes in between sets for squats, I'll, stretch out my ankles, or I'll stretch out my hips, just to see if I can get a little bit more range of motion once I go into my lift. So lots of different things that you can do besides just resting between sets, and you can utilize any of these things for different purposes. And feel free to experiment. That's what I do with myself, with my clients, is I just try different things and see what works, because different things are going to work for different people. And yeah, there's lots of different ways that you can do things. Always the ankles and the hips for squats. I know. They are never happy. You can always do a little bit more. So yeah, that's what I've got for your intra workout warm-up types of things that you can do. So now we'll go to what you can do before your workout. And again, this is going to range anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, depending on what your goals are, depending on how much time you have, depending on how much you want to focus on mobility, on activation exercises. For me personally, I often spend minimum 20 minutes to an hour. And that's because I do a lot of mobility work. For me, mobility is very important. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting as much range of motion as possible out of my muscles, that my body's feeling good. I sit a lot more than I used to. Like my previous job, I was standing all of the time, and now I'm sitting all the time, and I find my hips just really don't like that much sitting. I do often sit on an exercise ball, which has helped a lot, but I do need to do a lot more like mobility and whatnot to get my hip feeling better, to get that left glute working, to get my shoulders a bit more even. Mobility actually helped me a lot when I was doing my bodybuilding, to get everything super even and to really be able to hold my poses and to open up my lats a bit more. Yeah, I love mobility. Mobility is helpful for so many things, and I feel like not enough people do it. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is mobility related, because I find it super, super helpful for me, for my clients. I love mobility. It does wonders. So let's go through a few different things that you can include in your warm-ups. So the basic premise of your warm-up is to, first of all, get your blood flowing to your muscles and get your joints warmed up, so that during your workout, things are just going to feel and move a lot better. You're not going to be as stiff as you would have been if you immediately just jumped right into it. You don't have to do any cardio. I personally don't. You can, like, it's an easy way to get your heart rate up and to get the blood flowing is to like walk 5 minutes on the Stairmaster on an incline, or do some jump rope or anything like that. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of cardio, so I often choose not to. But again, it's up to you, whatever you personally enjoy. I find that a lot of the warm-up exercises that I include just get my heart rate going on their own because I'm doing them quickly. I'm not taking any rest time. I'm moving my body. So any type of movement is going to get your blood flowing. Now, one thing to be aware of is that you don't want your warm-ups to be super exerting or super difficult or challenging. You want it to be enough to get your muscles, understanding what's going on, to prep them for the workout. But you don't want to get to the point where you're fatiguing your muscles so that it's taking away from your workout. And that's why I don't usually recommend doing a lot of cardio before your workout, because that's going to tire you out and take away from your workout. So just be mindful of how much effort and energy you're putting into your warm-ups, and that you're not, doing a whole workout in your warm-up, right? We want it to complement your workout and prepare you for your workout, not take away from it. So just be aware. Again, this is also going to come from experience and experimentation and figuring out, what works for you. You know your body best. Spend the time to get to know your body, to know what works for it and what doesn't. You don't have to do the same thing every single time. It's totally fine to change it up all the time. So what I recommend for warm-ups, which is going to be a really easy way to think about it, is anything that you're doing in your workout, do in your warm-up. So if you're doing a heavy squat day, make sure you're doing some sort of squat movements in your warm-up. So if that's like lightweight squats, doing like goblet squats with a very light dumbbell, or if you want to do some jump squats, or you can do like really slow squats, just body weight. You can grab a PVC pipe or a dowel or a broomstick and do squats with that. So you're getting that movement in during your warm-up. If you're doing overhead presses, you could do either very light dumbbell presses, you could do PVC presses, anything like that. So that's going to be probably the easiest way to plan your warm-ups, is to have a few movements that you're already doing in your workout. So my warm-ups are typically like mobility first, and then I'll do like a couple rounds of like my warm-up, I guess, with my exercises that are going to be in my workout for that day. So I'll do some mobility first, get my joints feeling better, get things loosened up, and then do my exercises with very lightweight. Typically, I use a PVC pipe for almost all of my warm-ups. I'll do some of the exercises I'm going to be doing in my workout and go through that for a few rounds. So I'll show you guys some of those at the end. And for now, I'm going to just talk a little bit more about what you can do for mobility work to start out. So there's going to be a few different things for mobility. It's kind of got a few facets to it. So the easiest one to start out with is rolling. So if you guys have seen people around the gym doing this, maybe people online, they either use like small lacrosse balls. They're like a tennis ball size, but they're solid and like a little bit soft. Or you can also use foam rollers or even the barbell. And all you do with these is you roll out your muscles. So let's say I'm doing a shoulder day and I want to loosen up my shoulder muscles. I'll take the ball. I should have grabbed my ball to show you guys, but I didn't. So you grab the ball, you stick it on your shoulder, and then you often just do it against the wall or the ground. So you push up against the wall and you just push your shoulder into that ball, roll it around a little bit, and you're pretty much massaging yourself, basically, is what we're doing here. So you push that ball into your shoulder, and wherever you feel like really tight spots where it's like pretty painful, you want to hang out there for a few seconds. and just sit into that spot, try to relax into it, and slowly let that tightness melt away. Now, you could spend hours doing this, but a good recommendation to start off is like 1 to 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes per muscle that you're going to be working. And don't feel like you need to do every single muscle that you're going to be working that day. As long as you just do a couple of them, spend maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes rolling out a few different muscles, you're going to be fine. When I first started doing this, I would get a little overwhelmed and try to do every single muscle, and it would take me an hour and a half. So you don't need to do that. Just pick a few, the ones that are often the most tight for you, and just roll those out. I'll give you a few examples just so you have some ideas. With the shoulders, I usually do all 3 heads. So I'll do the side of the shoulder, the front of the shoulder, and your rear delt, so just above your armpit there. You could also roll out your chest with the ball. You could roll out your traps. I will roll those out with a bar. So I'll actually put the bar in the rig and come up under it and push my traps into the barbell. That one I could spend a long time doing. You can roll out your back, usually just the upper back. I'd stay away from the lower back. You can use a foam roller, so roll your lats one at a time, roll your back. That one's also a very nice one. So that's kind of for upper body. There's a few options there. For lower body, you can do your calves. So if you have any ankle mobility restrictions, rolling out your calves is really going to help. Again, you can just do that with a lacrosse ball. Just plop your calf up on the ball, on the ground, and roll out the calves. For some people, that one can be quite painful, me included. And for your quads, you can lay on a foam roller, or my favorite is you can sit on the ground with your legs out in front of you and plop a barbell on top of your leg and roll your quad with the barbell. It's painful, but it is very, very helpful. You can also get a friend to help you with that if you want to roll out your hamstrings and your glutes. So you lay on your tummy and have somebody else plop the barbell on your glutes and your hamstrings and roll it out. Yeah, you got to have, like, when you first start doing this mobility stuff, it's quite painful. It's like a massage, really. You're pretty much massaging yourself. But I promise the more you stick with it and the more consistent you are with it, it won't hurt this much the whole time. So just a warning there. And again, just pick a couple of the muscles that you're going to be using during your workout and maybe do like 1, 2, 3 different muscles, roll them out for a few minutes each side, and that'll just help loosen things up. So that's how I like to start my my warm-ups, is just by doing a bit of mobility work with some rolling. Now, I think I've touched on this before, but this seems to be an old school way of thinking, is that you need to stretch your muscles before a workout. And we have learned since those days that stretching your muscles like for multiple minutes, like hamstring stretches, like just bending over and touching your toes and holding that stretch for a while, or things like that, is not actually going to help you for your workout. It will actually hinder your workout a little bit. So if you want to do any stretching like that, if you're really working on your flexibility and whatnot, leave that till after your workout, or even at a completely separate time. Instead, you want to be doing what we call dynamic stretches. So you can do it with the same movements, like you can do like shoulder circles, you can do clappers. Your arms would be straight, but yeah, for your chest. You could do leg swings. You can do like lunges, like walking lunges, things like that. So you just want your exercise, your stretches to be continuously moving. So you don't want to stay in one position for several minutes, but instead like move through the stretch. So move into it, move out of it, move into it, move out of it. And those are going to be your dynamic stretches. So those are really good to incorporate like with your PVC movements. So let's say you're doing some shoulder circles with the PVC, some overhead presses, then maybe you'll do like some body weight squats with that. You might do some 90-90s to stretch out the hips. You might do some lunges to stretch out the hips, just kind of string together maybe 4, 5, 6 exercises and stretches, kind of put them all in a row and then do that like 2 or 3 times through. That's pretty much how I create all of my warm-ups, is do some mobility and then do a few rounds of dynamic stretches and like PVC moves. And I think that's, oh wait, I have a few more examples. So that's kind of how I would build my warm-up, is I'd do mobility first, roll out the muscles, do a few rounds of some exercises with a very light weight or some dynamic movements kind of put in there. And then if I need to, I'll do some activation exercises, but usually those happen right before the exercise that I'm doing. And I did write down a few ideas for warm-ups because I've got lots. So PVC is going to be my go-to always. I brought a stick here, so maybe I'll just show you some. Let's see if we're still at a good angle here. So you can use a broomstick if you're at home. If you're at the gym, they often have PVC pipes or wooden dowels. So my go-to always is just going to be shoulder circles. These here. You can be fancy, although the stick's a little short for this. Go around. And then you can do any of your lifts. So if you're doing overhead presses, you can practice those. If you're doing rows, you can do your rows here. You can do squats. So you can put it on your back, do some squats. You can do good mornings. These are one of my favorites to warm up with. Really get the hamstrings warmed up. Deadlifts. Do snatches and cleans. Pretty much anything you do with a barbell, you can do with the stick. So they're one of my favorite things to use for warm-ups. And again, usually what I do is I pick like 4, 5, 6 exercises and do like maybe 10 reps of each and do a few rounds. Some other things you can do are like just purely body weight. I think I'm just going to do standing ones because I don't know if you guys can see me if I'm sitting. So a few good ones. I'm not very flexible in my hamstrings, so don't mind me not fully straightening my legs. But you can start in like a love squat and then push up your hips, bring yourself back down into a squat, step, back down into a squat. You can stay down here and rotate yourself up per side. You can do some lunges, nice and low. I like to do these for like sumo deadlift days. There's like so many different things that you can do. I think that's going to be all I'm going to get up to do. And then again, for lightweight, you can use dumbbells, kettlebells, an empty barbell. Just do the movements that you're going to be doing in your workout. You're going to be doing squats, goblet squats, dumbbell squats, do kettlebell deadlifts if you're doing deadlifts, just things like that. Already breathing heavy. And then for your activation exercises, my favorite for these is to use bands. I feel like bands are really good for mind-muscle connection because you've got continuous like resistance the whole time. So I like to do these for booty band stuff. I'm sure you've seen videos of all the different booty band warm-ups out there. Those are great just for getting your glutes activated during your workouts. I like doing lat pull downs. So we'll do lat pull downs with a band to just help me feel my lats. Sometimes we'll do rows. And yeah, sometimes I'll do shoulder like pulls here or extensions here or presses just anything that you really want to be feeling those muscles extra well, throw in some band stuff. Those are great for activation. And then, yeah, body weight stuff. You could always just slow down the lifts. So you could do really, really slow squats, which are very good for warm-ups. And you could do the opposite where you do explosive reps. So you could do like jump squats. So slow squats or jump squats. If you're doing bench press, you could do negative push-ups, or you could do clapper push-ups if you're fancy. Just things like that. So you've got tons of different ideas. Try not to feel too overwhelmed with it. The easiest way to do it is spend a few minutes doing mobility. So roll out the muscles that you're going to be using. Pick like 1, 2, or 3 muscles that you want to roll out. Spend a few minutes on each side. Get the muscles loose. And then do a few rounds of some of the movements that you're going to be doing in your workout. So let's say you're doing squats and deadlifts and lunges. Do those in your warm-up, and maybe a few dynamic stretches that also loosen up those muscle groups. So that is kind of what I would follow for your guidelines for building warm-ups. And then during your workout, activation exercises, if you would like them, if you just want to feel the muscles a little bit more, use bands or really lightweight. Those are both really good for activation. And then always, always, always do warm-up sets. So that is what I have for you guys for today for creating good warm-ups for your workout. Please let me know if you have any questions there. If you need any clarification on anything, please let me know. Right now, if you're in here, just write out a comment and I will answer you. I just want to make sure that everything that I'm saying makes sense, is clear, that you do feel coming out of this that you could create yourself a fun warm-up that's going to get you feeling, you know, confident with your workout, that you're going to be working on your technique. You're going to feel like your range of motion is better. You're just going to feel like you got in a good warm-up and you are ready to go for your workout. So yeah, I'll give you guys a couple minutes here. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments and I will answer them right away. Otherwise, I'll just talk more about what we got going on coming up next week, and then the prize for that and a new offer that I have coming up. So if you got questions, put them in there now. So I want to make sure you're feeling 100% clear on everything that we just went over. Okay. So I don't see any questions coming in at the moment. If you do have any that come up, again, just put them in there and I will answer them. So I just wanted to quickly go over what we've got going on next week. If you're not already signed up, we have the Program Design 101, which is a 5-day free workshop that I'm running in my Facebook group. If you're watching this on Facebook, you're already in my Facebook group. If you're watching this on Instagram, you'll need to click the link in my bio to get yourself in there. Even if you're in my Facebook group, you'll need to sign up for the workshop just so that you get the emails every single day, you get the homework, worksheets, and you just get all of the information in there. You'll also need to be signed up in order to be eligible for the prize at the end of the week. So every day in the workshop, we're going to be going over something different every day, but the whole week is dedicated to program design. So coming out of the workshop, you should feel confident in creating your own workout plans. And throughout the week, we're actually going to be working on creating your first weekly workout plan together. So I'm super excited about that. I'll be in there every day giving you feedback and helping each of you individually create the best workout plan for you. So at the end of this workshop, one person is going to be winning 3 months of the Program Design Lab with me, which is my newest offer. I'm incredibly excited about this, so I'll briefly tell you about that just so that you know what you could be winning. And if you are interested in purchasing this anyways, it's going to be open for enrollment pretty much the last day of the workshop. So at the end of the workshop, I'm going to be opening this up for everybody to sign up for it as well. So much fun. So Program Design Lab is where you get to work with me to create your perfect workout plan. Not perfect, but I'm going to teach you how to build a workout plan, and we're going to create it together. So instead of me just making a workout plan for you, you're going to be involved in the process, and you're going to learn exactly what I'm doing to create the plan, so that after these 3 months, you'll come away not only with having experienced my workout plans for the last 3 months and made progress towards your goals, but you will know how to keep doing it on your own moving forward. That's always my biggest philosophy, and my biggest thing that I really want to make sure I'm doing is that I don't want any of my clients to rely on me. I don't want any of my clients to feel like they can't do anything without me. I want to teach you everything that you need to know so that after our time together, you can keep doing it on your own. Because I don't know, I don't want you guys to just always feel like you need me holding your hand the whole time. That's not fun. I feel like you're not getting much out of it if you can't do it on your own afterwards. I do have clients who do still want to work with me just because they really enjoy having my programming, or they just enjoy having the support. But my ultimate goal is always to let you off on your own and to let you know exactly how to do it on your own. So that's exactly why I'm not offering just custom workout program, but instead we're going to work together to create your workout program and teach you how to do it along the way. So it's over 3 months. You'll get 3 different workout plans, each 4 weeks long. You're going to have 3 calls with me where we design your workout together. The first call is going to be 90 minutes long. So it's a bit longer because this one is where we really figure out what your goals are. We figure out what kind of workout schedule is going to work the best for you, how many days a week you need, what equipment you have access to, what kind of workout split you want to do, where your focuses want to be, and kind of how we're going to lay out the whole plan over the next 3 months. And of course, we'll come up with your first 4-week plan together. And then your second and third calls are going to be 45 minutes long each. And with those, we're going to take what we've done and we're going to see how we need to adjust it moving forward, where you've seen progress, where you've kind of stalled out, where we might want to put more focus, where we might want to ease back from. So I'll show you exactly how to adjust your workout plans every single time, and then how to change it up so that, you know, it stays exciting and fun. And we want to make sure you're always enjoying your workouts. So anytime we need to change things up, we'll be doing 2 calls for that. So your first call is where we kind of figure out your goals, figure out what we're going to do long term. And then your second 2 are going to be just creating that next workout plan and making the changes that we need to make there. So that's going to be the basic package of the Program Design Lab. And one person's going to win this for free at the end of the workshop next week. And there are 2 other tiers to this if you want more involvement, if you want more out of it. So the second tier is going to be where you get access to my app that I use to give my clients their workout programs. In there, you get like video tutorials for every single exercise, just so that you know you're performing it correctly. You get descriptions that are usually written by me, where you can get kind of just more details in how I want you to be performing the exercise and what I want you to be getting out of it. You can track your exercises in here so you can see that you're making progress, that you're lifting heavier weights each week. It estimates your 1 rep max for you. So if you have any exercises that we're doing like 60% of your 1 rep max or anything like that, this will calculate it for you so you don't have to do that. It celebrates every single time you get a personal record, which I just think is always super fun. And in there, you also can send me messages if you have any questions that come up or need any modifications or anything during the time together. So that is the second tier of that if you want just a little bit more out of it. And then the third tier is if you just like want everything that you can possibly get out of it. This is much more similar to personal training. where you're going to be sending me videos of yourself doing your exercises, and you're going to be getting feedback from me on every single thing. So if you really want to like dial in on your technique and make sure that you're getting as much out of your workouts as you possibly can, this is definitely going to be the best option for you. So you send me videos, I send you feedback, and this is where, like, I've done this with my private clients, with the people who are part of my group coaching, and this is where we really see a lot of progress in lifts, because a lot of times when we are just doing the movement, if we're just watching ourselves in the mirror or even recording ourselves, sometimes we don't necessarily see things that a coach would see, and we often end up doing things not necessarily incorrectly, but maybe not in the most efficient way, or we get stuck in the same habits, we get stuck doing things the same way we've always done them, just because we always do them that way. So no matter how long you've been lifting for, you can always benefit from having a second eye on your lifts, so that you can just make sure every single time you're getting the most out of it. Because you can always improve your range of motion, you can always improve your technique, you can always improve your speed, especially when you start getting up into heavier weights, because as soon as we go heavier, our form starts to deteriorate again. So if you are looking for just that amount of support, then the third tier would be the best option for you. So that is the program design lab. Those are the 3 tiers of it. Whoever wins the prize in the workshop next week is going to get the basic tier of that. And then of course, at the end of the week, we're opening up applications for this. If you are interested in getting in right away, please feel free to reach out to me, to send a message. And I don't have an application page open for that just yet, but if you are interested, you can reach out to me and I'll make sure to get you signed up right away. We can get some people in early, so if you are super interested in that and want to make sure you get a spot, just reach out to me and we'll get you all sorted there. Otherwise, I think in the next few days, I'll get the application page up just to make it super easy for those of you who just want to do it. So yeah, keep your eye out for that. I will see you guys in the workshop next week. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, and have fun programming your workouts coming up for the rest of all your workouts. Make sure you get in very good warm-ups. Okay? All right. I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we will see you guys later. Bye.
Over.